Good afternoon everyone, Pete and Grada here from the Purple House Wellness Center in Forth, and today we are going to share some information with you about our work because that's what we feel most passionate about. So often when clients come to us, and over the last 20 years we've worked with tens of thousands of clients, when they come to us it's always the same thing. First of all, we have to spend a lot of time listening to you. Happy? What do you want to say?
Well, often people haven't been listened to or haven't been heard, or they felt they haven't been listened to. So we want to listen to your story. We want to hear it.
We want to hear it all, by the way.
And sometimes people, they don't want to share everything, but it is best if they can just offload everything.
Well, we believe, of course, people come to us for healing. So part of the healing is starting at the beginning. So we have to listen to the secrets, then the stories, the trauma, the points of view that are all stored in your body. And quite often people are actually surprised at what comes out of that once they start talking. People are often surprised at what shows up for them. So we feel that listening deeply is a very, very big part of the healing process. But of course, that's not all we do. We're just saying the healing can't really start till somebody has heard your story and connected with it on a very deep level. So that's number one.
And it explains to us your situation.
That's right.
And why you have come to us is because of your situation in life.
So then secondly, Pete and I, we're always very solution oriented, right? So people sometimes come to us with a massive shopping list of problems and health issues, and quite often they've sometimes given up on themselves, but definitely other practitioners have given up on them. So with Pete and I, we're always looking for the solution, and because we've looked for solutions now for decades, we can find a solution for people, and that solution is always unique to you as well, by the way. This is why we never get tired of doing our job, because it's actually a really positive thing, even if there's deep trauma involved and a lot of pain and failure sometimes. So if Pete and I don't have the solution for you, we will absolutely tell you from the beginning, because we don't like wasting people's time and money, or we sometimes will bring in something else. So when it comes to healing, other than listening and waiting for a solution to percolate, what are some of the things where we normally have to start, Pete?
Well, normally
once we start, that is.
Yeah. To get your body to start healing, you have to get rid of things first. You have to, initially, that offloading that Grada was talking about is a good thing, but often we've been living in a toxic environment. We've filled our bodies with things so the body can't detoxify properly. So getting rid of the waste,
getting rid of toxic overload.
Toxic overload is one of the first things people need to do, and we explain ways to you, a solution to be able to do that. One time there was a young woman come to me with headaches. She was having 2 or 3 headaches a week, and then I suggested things for her to do to help detoxify her liver and get
rid of her headaches.
Liver, getting rid of the waste and different things. And she came back after 3 or 4 weeks and she said she had had a constant headache all the time. And she hadn't listened, or
she hadn't followed your instructions.
She hadn't followed the solution properly. And when she listened to
you had to re-educate her.
And when she started putting those into action, her headaches soon disappeared.
and she's still going really strong now. So that's the thing. Like initially, you have to get your car back on the road, and then you might need some. Well, lots of people do. Of course, you need some readjustments along the way. So when you think of pain and problems, right, or unwellness, it's always caused by two things, like too many toxins in your body, and everyone has too many toxins, and not enough of the good things, too much of the bad stuff, and not enough nutrition. Somewhere your body is lacking the energy to get you well. By the way, this is talking on the physical level, but it's also the emotional and spiritual aspects, which is absolutely my passion point, isn't it, Pete?
Yeah.
So before we go back to the physical toxins, I quickly want to butt in and say, emotionally, like your environment can also be very, very toxic. For instance, if there's been a fight between you and your partner, or you're living in a house where people fight, the energy of that argument stays in the house for 30 days, and you're living in that energy, and you actually don't know that that's pulling you down. So, so you have to also become very aware of what you can do to clear that energy from your environment, also from your body. And also you have to start questioning, are the people around me uplifting me, or are they undermining me? Am I just tolerating them in my life? By the way, which means they're draining your energy.
Any emotion that you feel turns to a chemical in the bloodstream.
That's right. So for instance, if somebody is not supporting you or uplifting you, like Pete and I are meant to uplift and support each other. I think we do a pretty good job of it now after 40 years, right? But we both have also decided, if we're not uplifting each other, and if we do that, say, for 5 minutes, that's all right. If it's an hour, that's already too long. And if it was for one day, we don't put up with it. And then if it went on for too long, we would definitely not even stay together. And we know that about each other. So there's like total freedom there. So you have to become conscious even of siblings, or people have a loyalty or a trauma bond sometimes with parents, or people who've abused them, can be a partner, or other people. And if that abuse keeps going, you're also not going to get healthy. So people need to get awareness around that. So actually, when you
can be in any situation in your life, your workplace, your spiritual life.
Yeah. I just, something popped into my head. Can I talk now? Okay. So like, we educate people, right? So we heal and educate you at the same time around your blind spots and so on. But people have to get to a point where they are very happy to take responsibility for their health results or relationship results, whatever it is. And as soon as that clicks into gear, like, okay, I'll just use a silly example now. I've had candida and parasites, and that was awful. I want to get better, and I never want candida and parasites again. And so I'm taking responsibility of this problem, and I make sure I'm never going to have it again. So I'm in charge. As soon as you make that switch, it's like miracles start to happen, and the universe comes in to support you as well. But if people don't ever get to that point, like, I want to be responsible, the results are never as good. Like, it's an uphill battle for you and for us, right? So
I had a guy come back to me after several years, and what he said to me when he came into the room was, I need a good kick up the behind, because he knew what he had to do, and he probably knew what I was going to tell him again.
That's right.
But he just needed re-education, re-encouragement,
and just
to be able to do it again.
All right. So when you give people kick up the bum, right, that's actually also showing them, like, I kick you up the bum because I trust you that you can do it, right? So it's also that we show we have faith in you, right?
Get out there and do it.
It's tough love again.
Yeah.
So this is another thing. We educate you or people so that you become empowered, and you actually start to trust your body as well, right? Because a lot of people, many of our clients, they don't trust themselves, but they trust everyone else around them, which is not a good thing, because this is how bad things happen to you, right? And how you get sick.
Yeah, I was just talking with a client this morning, and he was saying, yeah, from little kids upwards, where we get a cold and we said, oh, we better go to the doctor. So we're taught to trust,
to look for the outside,
to look for help from the outside all the time, and particularly the doctor, which often they just treat symptoms. They don't get you.
Well, they also don't have time to listen. Okay. And this morning I was also working with a client, and this is a really, really happy story. So she had, and if you're listening to this, you know I'm talking about you. So she had like 4 wisdom teeth removed 2 weeks ago. And when I first saw her after the operation, it was only like 3 days later. She was just bruised. She was quite bruised, but the swelling was already really, really good. And I was surprised how good she looked. And then I saw her this morning, and there's no swelling. I think the bruising is pretty much all gone, and she just looks super amazing. And the doctors at the time wanted to give her pain relief and extra pain relief because it was a big operation. She had to stay in the hospital at night, and she was healing herself because she can do that because I've worked with her, and she trusts her own body now, and I didn't really have to teach her much how to heal herself, because we've got that ability. Everyone has that ability. It just needs to be woken up. So she didn't have to take any nerve or nothing, and she's just come through amazing, right? And so I just always, Pete and I, we help you to believe in yourself and to believe that your body is also amazing, and your mind, by the way. So you can make a comeback even from mental illness or spiritual illness. It doesn't matter, physical illness, doesn't matter where the kink in the cable is, we get the energy flowing. So even when it comes to your bones, right? So like you can break a bone and heal your own fracture, and usually it heals within 2 weeks from what I've seen. When like the normal course would take maybe 8 weeks, which is still pretty good that your body heals a bone, doesn't it? But I've worked with clients, and their fractures are just healing super, super quick. That's the bone structure, you know, which is pretty amazing. That's a bit different to growing your hair and your nails, isn't it?
But if we really believe in our body, it can do the healing.
Yeah.
And
so one time
it'll do it even better if we really believe in it as well.
Remember that time when I broke my wrist, fell on it a few years ago, and we were due to go to Paris. It's 6 years ago actually, and I didn't want to walk around Paris with my arm in a cast. And so actually I healed my own arm just using healing practices, getting the energy to flow, and within a fortnight it was completely healed. And I was pulling heavy luggage all around Europe with this arm, with my right arm, and never had any problems. And people were warning me, even doctors and nurses and other practitioners in the Purple House at the time. They said, look, if you don't rest it, you're going to have a dicky wrist, because you know you've got all that fine bone structure in here. But I didn't have any problems, right? So I wanted to talk about toxicity. So a lot of toxins are very insidious, and people don't know that they are full of toxins. So I'm talking about fluoride and chloride, which is in your drinking water, and bromide, which is in pretty much everything, right?
It's in our bread, in the clothes you wear.
In all the fire retardants, in the work gear, it's everywhere. And those 3 toxins push out iodine and close down your third eye, your pineal gland, and your other glands in your body. So it creates hormonal havoc. And
causes calcification of those. And
your pineal gland is your connection to source or the universe or your higher self. So that creates a disconnect between you and your power center, you could say. And that's the first thing you need to clear up, and we recommend iodine and a smidge of boron, right? Boron is like a little bit of powder that you can take every day that pushes those toxins out of your body.
And it also increase or have some magnesium, because magnesium and boron help decalcify the body and get the calcium back into the bones where they belong.
And don't have calcium, because they will harden all your soft tissues and make you old. So so that's an important detox, and that's very, very cheap, by the way, and everyone should do that every day for the rest of their lives, because these toxins are all around us in our environment. And then in the food, in our foods, we ingest mercury, arsenic, cadmium, all the heavy metals that are like super toxic to our bodies. Aluminium creates Alzheimer, and so on. That's also in deodorants, by the way, and it's in a lot of the food as well. So be careful with the foods that you eat, but you can't always avoid, you know, as I said, it's everywhere. So, you know, you literally can't avoid them from entering your body. So we also recommend that everyone has a big tablespoon of sauerkraut or kimchi every night, like fermented vegetables. Take that stuff out into the toilet, by the way, and it seeds your body with good bacteria, so that's a really good one. That also, it's food, like you have to eat, right? So it's cheap to do.
You get far more nutrition from a fermented cabbage than you do from a just normal cabbage.
And if you want to learn how to ferment, the workshop is still going, so it's advertised on the Purple House website. But other than that, what other detoxes do you recommend? The worm detox, we talked about it last week, so click on last week's post. If you haven't seen our parasite post, go back and have a really good listen to them now, because that's absolutely foundational.
And then the detoxification organ of the body is the liver, so keeping your liver nice and healthy and cleared out of stored fat is essential, so it drains the waste properly, and that's also needed for proper digestion, so you'll be getting the nutrients that your body needs.
So are we talking about beet flow now?
Well, beet flow gets the bile cycle run properly, but getting your body to use up the stored fat that we often clog our livers with, you can do intermittent fasting and start getting most of your energy from fats rather than sugars.
And a good fat is coconut oil, butter, lard, dripping.
Yeah. And if you use borax and coconut oil and iodine, that also helps mop up any candida that might be floating around, because that has a lot of toxins associated with it as well, which need to be got rid of.
And of course, we recommend the Ultimate Vitality Boost. That's a package we put together many years ago, because like we found that everyone needs that when they first come to us, right? And that contains beet flow, iodine, we've already talked about that, immunosymbiotic restore, which heals and seals your gut, and enzymes, like an omnizyme, like a really, really good enzyme. And that pretty much covers all the 4 pillars of your health, right? So it will detoxify you, and it helps you to have really good digestion. So, and if you really, really run down, we also recommend something like Activator. So Activator is a full spectrum multivitamin minerals. It's called minerals and amino acids. And it's got all the minerals your body needs.
We've been doing quite a bit of research lately on
Copper.
our need for copper. Some people believe that's
Another key.
is really another key, as important or more important than iodine. And the Activator has 2 milligrams of copper, which is a fairly good dose.
Yeah, copper is just another key, a catalyst that kickstarts so many processes in your body that your body can't do without copper, right?
It's the policeman that keeps all the other minerals in their right place.
Yeah,
often.
that makes everything work. So, so that's how. So healing you is listening, helping find a solution. That's what we do. We come up with a solution, then we help you detox. And if some people go into crisis from that, then we help you, you know, not give up. Because if you give up during a detox crisis, where those toxins going to go? So you have to think long term, right? If you're clearing out now, that stops you from getting sick later, and then we help you stay on track.
So we give you encouragement as well.
Yeah, we treat you like a billionaire, right? So we've heard stories, of course, from other healers in America who've worked with very, very rich people, like say celebrities and billionaires. And so just because when you're a celebrity or a billionaire doesn't guarantee that you're happy or healthy, right? It should, because you've got money to look after yourself. And so what the people, billionaires, what do they say on their deathbed? Do you want to do you remember what they say on their deathbed? This is a good lesson, actually. Wisdom in it.
They've been so busy often in their lifetime that they have neglected their relationships with family and friends. So they want...
And themselves, I was going to say.
They have missed out on connection.
Yeah. So what really struck me is like even themselves. So they were just too busy or too distracted, like celebrities or social media influencers. When it comes to the end point, they all say, oh, I wish I'd spend more time with my family. But a lot of people also say, I wish I'd spend more time for me. So I want to stress that point, because it's really important that you have space, create space for you, just to be you, and you're worthy of your own love and attention. When you love you and you give yourself love and attention and peace and quiet and time to unwind and release, everyone around you is going to benefit anyway.
Plus, you come to trust yourself a lot more then, and trust your body can do the work it was designed to do. And
also, when Peter really loves himself, which he does sometimes, I feel it even from the other side of the house, and I think, wow, what's Peter up to? And I get this wave of wellness through my body, and then I know Peter is doing his inner work, like where he is 100% focused on showering himself with unconditional love, or connecting with the love that he is, because ultimately our essence is, of course, true love, right? Nothing else, and it's just been covered up with stress and trauma. So I feel it when Peter is doing his inner work. I feel that in my body, I feel so well and happy. So that gives me permission to spend hours by myself. I love being by myself. And sometimes in the past I used to worry about Pete then, but actually now I don't anymore, because I know he is getting waves of my happiness, and this is all radiates out into the universe, because we're all interconnected. And so that's the best way to heal your relationships, even same with my children. When I worry about my children, who are all adults, rather than me interfering with that situation, I take that into me and I heal that in me. Then I know that's they're getting the benefits from that. All right, so I hope that you enjoy this. We're here to help you. So I hope you feel inspired by this, and also to reach out to us and talk to our team if you need help, or if you just want a checkup or an adjustment. Come and see us. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Have a good week.
Okay, bye.